Greetings and welcome to Passionately Intrigued Arts with Tracy. Thank you for joining in part 2 of the Hexagon Kids Crochet Cardigan. In part 1, I left off with the 8th row, which I did in black. Now I have added 2 additional rows in eggplant color yarn. Just placing the 2 pieces together so that you can see how it's coming along. I have stitched the top of the sleeve together with a single crochet. I will be showing you how I did that on the other half of the sweater. I will be using a slip stitch to join the front to the back of the sleeve. I will align the 2 pieces together and go into the front top stitch and go into the back top stitch and create a single crochet. And repeat this process until I get to the neckline. So in the front top stitch, align it up with the stitch behind, pull it through, create a single crochet, and continue. I have reached the neck area, so I'll do a slip stitch, pull it through and cut it off. Now I will be changing colors using the tan yarn and doing a series of double crochet clusters down each side of each piece of sweater. As you see, I have done one side of the sweater off camera. I will show you how it is done with the other piece. I will make a slip knot on my needle and go into the first corner, the chain loop on the corner, make a slip stitch, and once I make the slip stitch, then I'll do the first double crochet, which is 3 chain stitches, and then I will double crochet twice, go into the next opening and do a cluster of 3 double crochets, go into the next cluster after that and do a double crochet cluster of 3 and continue until I get to the end of the row. At the end, I'll do a slip stitch and cut the yarn off after I have pulled it through. Now I will be attaching these two pieces together. A slip knot onto my needle. I will take it into the first chain double crochet, do a slip stitch, and crochet 3 chain stitches, then 2 double crochets in that same gap. I'll go into the other side and attach with a slip stitch. Then I'll come back to the first side and go into the first gap and create 3 double crochets, making that first cluster. Then I'll go back to the top side into the first gap or the next gap, do a slip stitch, pull that through, and then come back to the front and do 3 double crochets. Then I'll go back to the other side, do a slip stitch, come back to the front, the next gap, and do 3 double crochets. Back to the other piece, a slip stitch, come back to the front piece, 3 double crochets. Repeat this process until you get to the top neck area of this sweater. Now, as stated in part 1 of this crafting with yarn, Kids Crochet Hexagon Cardigan, I have followed a YouTube creator by the name of Craft and a Cuppa. Please follow her for detailed instructions and the correct terminology. I will include the link to her YouTube channel in the description, as I did in part 1 of this sweater. I end with a slip stitch at the top of the neck, tie it off. I will be taking care of all these threads by sewing them into the garment. The next step will be working on the sleeves to extend them. Stay tuned for part 3 if you're interested.